Okie dokie. I encourage you to take some meticulous notes today on this topic. Harry, you with me? All right. Today we're talking about our first set of irregular verbs. What's really cool about learning the past tense is just those couple of days when we were working on the preterite packet and learning those new endings, you doubled everything you're able to say in Spanish. Because now you can speak in the present tense and in the past tense. Unfortunately, there's a gigantic number of irregular verbs in the preterite. And I hate doing this to people because this is the overwhelming part. If you haven't felt overwhelmed yet, get ready. This is the overwhelming part of Spanish 2. And I really think if this wasn't a part of the Spanish 2 curriculum, more people would stay in Spanish. But unfortunately, you got to learn what there is in the language in order to communicate in it. And if you really want to learn this, you got to be very proactive about studying and reviewing. Little bits repetitively goes a lot further in helping you remember than trying to cram it all in at once because it's an overwhelming amount of information. But it's like trigonometry. If I was teaching you trigonometry, I couldn't avoid the fact that there's sines and cosines and tangents and all that stuff in there because there is. Okay? I can't avoid the fact that there's past tense. And that's part of the curriculum of Spanish too. And that's the thing that the colleges are going to look for you to have some proficiency in being able to do. If you go into college and you take a proficiency test, they're going to want to see that you have some ability in a past tense. In the past tenses. And of course, the more fluency and more of them you know, and the more regular you can use them, the better you're going to be able to show that. Okay? So I want you to know, I know that you've been expressing some stress to me about how hard Spanish 2 is and it's overwhelming and stuff, but I have never ever taken Spanish 2 through the curriculum as slowly as I've taken you. I've kept you in the Spanish 1 curriculum for another semester. I've never ever done that before. Um, the stuff that you're learning now, the kids that are in my Spanish 3 right now, they learned this at Christmas time last year. That's how far behind them you are, okay? That's okay. I mean, I did that on purpose, but we're there and we gotta do it, okay? So the last month here is gonna be intense, and you're gonna have to stick with it and practice. That's the #1 thing, okay? This is like learning the sharps and the flats in your keys when you're learning an instrument to play. It's the tough stuff, okay? And actually, I have to say that the past tense to me is the hardest thing to learn, and after that, it's kind of much easier. I know I give the Spanish 3 kids a lot of writing work, but seriously, they have some pretty wicked fluency going on, and they're doing really well. So this is like the hurdle you got to get over to really build fluency. All right. So with that said, we're going to talk today. We're going to start working on the irregular verbs in the preterite. And the first ones I'm going to do, you can ignore these purple questions here. I just popped those on there for a review. But we're going to talk about 3 types of verbs that have a spelling change in the yo form of the preterite. And those are verbs that end in CAR, GAR, and ZAR. So we're going to talk about what goes different with these words. And we saw some of those on this packet that you just did, and I was like, oh, you got to just ignore that. I haven't covered it yet. Well, here they are. And we'll be working on them more and more and more and more over the next several weeks. The other thing I like to try and be nice about it, because it is a lot to get into your head, as you start to practice with it, I will give you a sheet. I call it the pink sheet. I don't know, maybe I'll go with a different color this year, but it's going to be your study guide, and it's going to have all of the basic information on it. And I even let you use that on some tests. So, not all of them, but some. So we're going to start with a verb that ends in CAR. The rule is that verbs that end in CAR are going to change to QUE in the yo form. So taking the verb sacar here, which means to take, and we're going to conjugate it in the preterite or the past tense. Why is not letting me do that? There it goes. Okay, so if you put, if we follow the rules we already know, we get S, A, C, and then what would our last letter be for an AR verb? It'd be an E, right? With an accent. How would you pronounce this word here? You want it to be sake, don't you? But it's not. It's sase. But it doesn't sound right because sakar has a hard C in it. But here it has a soft C. So to create that sound that we need, we got to put that QU in there and get sake. Because CAR verbs change to QUE in the yo form. And then the rest of them, just follow the regular AR rules. Nothing special about them. Sake, sacaste, sacó, sacamos, sacasteis, and sacaron. So the only thing special about it is that I have this QU here. Otherwise, it followed all the same endings for a regular AR verb. Okay, so CAR changes to what, guys? K, or QUE. So here we've got some to try. Okay, so clase repitan. Yo practiqué. Ellos practicaron. Paco buscó. Yo busqué. Now, our next rule is that a verb that ends in a ZAR, like empezar, the ZAR changes to a CE. So empezar means to start or begin. If I can get the box to move away here. Come on, box. I'm locked up. Here we go. Still locked up. What? Technical difficulties. Okay, got a little bit to finish up here. So empezar becomes empecé. And I don't know if you guys heard her over here or not, but Kate asked an awesome question.
Nicole Gillespie, please report to the office.
She said, is it going to stem change? And the answer is no. Don't assume that means there aren't any stem changers in the preterite, because there are. This one is not one of them. Yeah, I told you it's going to be a lot. All right, so MPSA, I took the ZAR off and I added the CE, and then the rest of it is just regular. So we get empezaste, empezó. I don't know why I put a C there. Empezó, empezamos, empezáis, empezáis. How's that for a big word? And empezaron. So I began, empecé. You began, empezaste. So what would the yo form of almorzar be in the preterite? Almorcé. I got this. There we go. Okay, you guys are getting kind of restless here, and it's telling me that the bell is probably gonna ring here. I'm gonna keep teaching the last slide because I'm in the middle of the slideshow. Maybe I'll just... And then the final piece here is that verbs that end in GAR are also going to change. From GAR to G-U-E. So then our final rule of the day is that a verb that ends in a G-A-R changes to a G-U-E in the yo form of the preterite. So here I have hugar, or to play, and that's going to change to huge, like that. Huge, and then again the rest of them are just regular. Jugaste, jugó, jugamos, jugasteis, and jugaron. Can you think of another verb that ends in G-A-R? The one that comes to my mind is pagar, which equals to pay. And that's the end of this lesson. Tomorrow we're going to add 2 more verbs to this, and then we'll be getting some practices on them.